In the opening of his classic book, The Image of the City, Kevin Lynch described the city as a form of temporal art, incorporating both the open-ended development of the urban landscape and the dynamics of the observers that experience it. As we experience the objects that make a city, which include stationary objects such as buildings and parks, and mobile objects such as cars and people, we are experiencing incomplete and interrupted sequences. A city's temporal art, however, does not contradict the existence of a public image, of an area of agreement that is shared by the people experiencing the same physical reality. Creating high-resolution maps of these shared images has been historically difficult. Lynch's original work was built on less than 100 interviews, 30 for the city of Boston and 15 for Los Angeles and Jersey City. Nowadays, it is natural to ask ourselves whether we can use the web and social media to create high-resolution maps of urban perception. Can we leverage the images and people that are already online to map the parts of a city that look safer, more modern, more lively, or more historical? If we can we use these maps to compare different cities and study, for instance, which cities are perceived more unequal than others? PLoS is a project from the Macro Connections Group at the MIT Media Lab, which is helping create high-resolution maps of urban perception. PLoS is based on a simple data collection process in which pairs of images are presented in a website together with a question, such as, which place looks safer? Or, which place looks more historical? Visitors are asked to click on an image in response to these questions, helping identify the images and places that are associated with each evaluative response. The pilot study. PLoS's first study was designed to explore the ability of this technique to create high-resolution evaluative maps. The study included nearly 5,000 images from the cities of Boston and New York in the United States, and Linz and Salzburg in Austria. The pilot study explored 3 evaluative questions: which place looks safer, which place looks more unique, and which place looks more upper class. The pilot study was used to explore 3 different research questions. Can we use this method to create reproducible measures of urban perception? Can these measures be used to compare cities? And are there non-trivial spatial correlations between the evaluative maps created and other measures of social and economic outcomes? To explore whether the method can be used to measure urban perception, we estimated the test-retest reproducibility of the study. This was done by estimating a score for each image and question based on the number of times an image was selected and the set of images it was paired up with. The test-retest reproducibility of the study was obtained by comparing the scores obtained for different subsets of clicks. The results showed that, in a study with 30 to 40 clicks per image, the test-retest reproducibility of the scores obtained was high, since non-overlapping datasets generated rankings that were at least 80% similar. We then looked at the scores obtained by the 4 different cities, finding that the averages of each city were similar, but the variances for New York and Boston were significantly higher than the ones observed for Linz and Salzburg. This indicates that, for the images included in the study, the difference between the best scores and the worst scores for New York and Boston were larger than the difference between the best and worst scores for Linz and Salzburg. Finally, we compared our evaluative maps with data on the location of homicides. Here we used data for each New York City zip code and considered also information on the average income, population, area, and age of each zip code. After the effects of these variables was considered, the correlation between urban perception and the location of homicides remained strong. Certainly, this does not represent causal evidence in any direction, but shows that data on urban perception might capture relevant information that is not expressed in traditional socioeconomic indicators. Next steps. Going forward, PLoS is looking to create evaluative maps for more than 10 dimensions and nearly 60 cities and 20 countries. This will allow the PLoS team to estimate which are the cities and neighborhoods that look safer, cleaner, livelier, more beautiful, more depressing, or more historical. This data-driven approach will also be used to compare the perceptual aspects of cities from different parts of the globe. For example, this data could be used to determine which places in Paris have a similar perceptual pattern than places in Tokyo, Santiago, or Moscow, or which cities present the most unequal visual experience when it comes to the perception of safety, cleanliness, and beauty. As the world continues to urbanize, our need to understand our urban environment is becoming increasingly more important. Because of this, we would like to invite you to collaborate with us and help us create the most comprehensive set of maps of urban perception ever made. The new study is up and running, and your contribution will help us incorporate your perspective into these maps. Please join us at pulse.media.mit.edu and share a few clicks with us. We will make sure that the maps and the data created from your clicks will be aggregated into data that we will share back with you.